Hello everyone, welcome back to the Movie Matthew channel, where I'm ranking all 10 of the highest grossing films ever made. They're all going to be ranked from the worst to the very best, so yeah, let's just jump straight into it, shall we? With number 10. Frozen 2 is number 10 for me. This is just not as good as the first one, and it's by a distance. The first one is far superior, and I think it would be very hard for them to ever really top that first one, particularly the music. The music in the first Frozen was so catchy, everyone loved it, every song was good. It's one of those very rare Disney films where every song was good. Will that ever happen again in the Frozen franchise? Probably not, in my opinion. The songs in the second one aren't as good, they don't land. There was actually only one song I actually liked in the whole of the second one, and it was Olaf's song, When I Am Older. That's the only one I actually liked. The rest I didn't, I don't like what they did with Kristoff and Sven in this film. Them two were like one of my favourite characters from the first one, but in the second one they're just big simps. They don't do anything, they just sit back and they never actually do anything at all, apart from he wants to propose. That's it. He wants to propose to Anna, and that is it. That is his storyline for the whole film. Another thing I realised about this film, it's incredibly forgettable. I watched this film not even that long ago and I already don't remember what happened. Genuinely, it's like ridiculously forgettable. Simple as that. The first one isn't, the second one is, and the distance between them is so huge. Guys, this one is not a very good film, and Disney missed out on this one because they had a huge opportunity. The second Frozen, it was obviously going to gross a lot, for it to be in the top 10, it wasn't a surprise to people that this was going to be big. You'd think they'd made a better movie, but they didn't, and that's why it's number 10 for me. Number 9 is Furious 7. If we were going on endings, this would be near the top, but unfortunately it's the movie itself that isn't my favourite. The whole Fast and Furious franchise for me has never been my favourite. I think it's just too far-fetched, too over the top. They try and make it more extravagant as each of them go on, and it just gets more and more ridiculous as they go on, and they're not really my type of film. Sometimes they can be, but in Fast and Furious, I just don't really like them that much, to be honest with you. They're not my favourite, and that's the story of this film. The whole bulk of the film is very over the top and stupid, but the ending is the saving grace of this. And the ending, they bring him back, and him and Vin Diesel, it's emotional, it's brilliant, the soundtrack is gorgeous. The ending is just unforgettable, and it's worth watching just for that ending in tribute to Paul Walker. But apart from that, the movie isn't very good in my opinion. I think the Fast and Furious franchise would benefit from making a film that isn't over the top. Go back to the roots and stick to something where it's just a bit more realistic. I think that'd actually do better. I think people would actually prefer that. But now they've gone too far with this franchise where it has to be all over the top and crazy. And yeah, it's just not a massive fan, guys. Simple as that. But the ending does save this, and I do enjoy it sometimes. The Lion King, the live action remake. Billy Eichner was good as Timon, and Seth Rogen was great as Pumbaa. Them two were a great addition to this. It's a live action film that simply didn't need to be made. It was a cash grab by Disney, unfortunately. The original was untoppable. You're never going to top it, so why change it? Why make a new version of something that's basically untoppable? My clock, man, it's stopped now, thank God. But anyway, I loved it. I enjoyed the film. Why? Because it's the same storyline, it's the same soundtracks. Of course I'm going to enjoy the film. It's a beautiful feast for the eyes. It's brilliant, but the emotion isn't there. The hand-drawn animation from the original is not there, and that it shows. It's huge. Is that hand-drawn animation? The emotion in Simba's face and the emotions in Scar's face, it's not there with these live-action lions, unfortunately. It's gorgeous to look at though. Some of the characters were cool. The introduction of certain lines, that's only very few little changes they made to this film, but the few little changes were decent. But guys, the film is just, it's enjoyable enough. But is it as good as the original? Not even close to as good as the original. And the songs they just aren't performed as well in this movie either. Beyonce's over singing is unbearable to me. I just can't stand over singing, and she's like the queen of doing that. Seriously, she does it all the time. And in this, like the Can You Feel the Love Tonight, such a good song, just sing it normally. Why does she have to overdo it? And that's what she did, unfortunately. But guys, yeah, it's good enough. But yeah, a worthy number 8, I would say. Number 7 is Avengers Endgame. People might have expected this to be higher, but no, I'm not a huge fan of Marvel films like other people. I enjoy them, don't get me wrong, but I don't absolutely love them, you know, but I do enjoy them still, you know, I do enjoy them. But Endgame, it's number 7, and that's still high, I guess. It's a very good film. It's a satisfying film. The time travel idea was done well, and it's got a lot of punch in the air moments, you know. Captain America with Thor's hammer, a personal highlight from me. But there's loads of memorable moments. How they finished this unbelievable set of films will never be forgotten. The MCU will never be forgotten. And what they did with these films is so influential. Like, this will be looked back on in 40 years as just classics. These they're just masterfully done, so well made, and the CGI is beautiful, the direction's great. 3 hours flies by like lightning, it really does. It packs huge emotional punches. The ending we have to some characters is incredibly satisfying. You know, they go out in such great ways. You know, the characters we know and love. But overall, I think it's a good film. It's not my favourite Marvel film, but it's a good film, and it's a great ending to a great set of films. Number 6 is Infinity War. This is better than Endgame in my opinion. The stakes are so high for our main characters, it's immense, so suspenseful, and yeah, it's just very intense, this film. And Thanos is introduced, what a villain he is, so powerful, and this whole Infinity Stone idea is brilliant, and the stakes are so high. Our superheroes are really put for the ringer in this one, the more than they ever have been before. They lose as well, which I absolutely love. You know, it's a typical superhero film. They're always going to win. You know, that's the problem with them. They're always going to win in the end. You don't know what's going to happen. There's nothing that really surprises you. But in this film, it surprises you. It takes risks, and those risks work. I love how they split this whole storyline into 2 with Infinity War and Endgame, and I think they've done so well. This one better for me. The pacing is better. I love the introduction of all the characters. The Guardians of the Galaxy getting involved. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm happy they got involved in this. And even though Star-Lord does screw it up, but it's good in the end. I enjoy this film. Overall, enjoyable. Simple as that. Number 5 is Avatar. People are going to be very pissed off that this is so high on my list, but it is, alright. Better than Infinity War and Endgame in my opinion. There you go. Shout and dislike all you like, but I think Avatar's better, and that's the beauty of having an opinion. Not everyone's is going to be the same. The special effects in this, the CGI in this, revolutionary and gorgeous. The world building is brilliant. Pandora is a feast for the eyes. James Cameron did a great job with the direction, and I just wish he brought out Avatar sooner. Avatar 2, 3. Why does he wait so long? It's been 12 years since the original Avatar's come out, so people do forget about it. It's a forgettable film now because it was so long ago. People give this a lot of unnecessary stick, in my opinion. I actually think it's a good film. I watched it again just to try and confirm that it's a good film, and it is. I really enjoy it. I have no real problems with it, and the characters are good. The villain is great. It has a lot to like about this film. Jake Sully, our main character, is great, and his relationship with Neytiri, I think that's her name, the Avatar, female Avatar, I think that's her name. But yeah, their relationship's great, built in this, and I just really enjoy it. I simply really enjoy this film. I hope the 2nd, 3rd and 4th are good, and he's not just wasting his time, James Cameron, because he's a great director, and that's why people are pissed off about this film, I think, really, because James Cameron is such a good director. Could he be making more films that are better, not just focusing solely on this Avatar franchise? But let him do what he wants, I guess. Avatar first one I really like, and the 2nd, 3rd, 4th hopefully are good. and it's been worth James Cameron's time and our time waiting and actually watching them. But yeah, Avatar for me, good film, exciting, I like it. Number 4 for me is Jurassic World. I love the Jurassic Park franchise, so good, but unfortunately, like a lot of franchises, a lot of the movies aren't good. You know, is Jurassic World as good as the original Jurassic Park? No, but seriously, what movies are? That's one of the greatest films ever made, in my opinion. But Jurassic World is not trying to be so similar to the first one. It's just fun, this one. You know, does it have plot holes? Yeah, it's a bit too over the top. Yeah, maybe at times. But I mean, it's a film about dinosaurs. What do you expect? It's fun, it's exciting, it's dramatic, it's funny. I love all the characters involved. Seriously, I enjoy this film. It's rewatchable to shit. I could watch this movie over and over again. It's my favourite from the Jurassic Park franchise since the original Jurassic Park. It's been my favourite. I prefer it to the second and third and the Fallen Kingdom, which is very bad. But the Jurassic World is good. I enjoy it. The whole futuristic world building. The storylines they went for a lot of the times were good. Some a bit stupid. But overall, I really have good fun with it. It's just dinosaur fun. You know, and I think it's because I love this franchise so much why I love Jurassic World so much. Really. I hope the third one is better than Fallen Kingdom. I really do, because it's such a shame, because we've got such good material here with these dinosaurs and such a great franchise. I hope it doesn't get spoiled again by the third one. But yeah, the first Jurassic World I actually enjoyed. Number 3 is The Force Awakens. What a Star Wars film this is. It's a shame it got let down by the second and third from the sequel trilogy, but this one is by far the best from the sequel trilogy. It's exciting, it's fun. Kylo Ren was introduced, and what a villain he is. You know, people thought, oh, we're never going to be able to top Darth Vader. That's the hardest part. But Kylo Ren is arguably better than Darth Vader, as controversial as it is. What I love about Kylo Ren over Darth Vader is you can see his facial expressions. He takes off his mask more, you know, so you can actually see the pain and the suffering, how conflicted he is in his face, and obviously it's performed masterfully by Adam Driver, one of the best actors working today in my opinion. And I just think it's very well done. I love how they brought back our original characters. I love it. You know, Carrie Fisher comes back, Harrison Ford comes back, you know, Chewie's back, Mark Hamill comes back. They all come back, and it's great to see. Great fan service moments when they come back into it. And I love the characters introduced. Rey is not ridiculously overpowered in the first one, which is nice. Not like in the second and third where she's superhuman, just way too overpowered, it's ridiculous. But in this one, it's quite nice to see she's not as overpowered. BB-8 was a great droid to bring in. I thought he brought a lot of humour and great elements to it. It's got similarities to A New Hope, but who actually cares? A New Hope's a masterpiece, and if they wanted to kind of take inspiration from a movie that was made over 40 years ago, why the hell not? You know, just go for it. And they did, and it works. I think it's a very, very, very good film. It all works, all characters introduced, I enjoyed. There's not really many faults I actually have with this film, apart from the fact that the next two following it was a huge letdown. But as a standalone Star Wars film, it's very, very exciting, very good. Just Star Wars. It's just Star Wars, isn't it? I adore Star Wars, and it's one of my favourite Star Wars films. It was also absolutely great to see John Williams' score in this one as well. Obviously, the score is going to be brilliant because it was him. The original Star Wars score he made was one of the best musical scores put to film ever, and in this, he's great again. You know, I had to give John Williams a shout out to, because the score is brilliant as well. Number 2 is The Avengers. Joss Whedon's script is so witty and creative, and it was such a good addition to this film. His script is brilliant, and it was a risk bringing all these characters together for the first time. All these great characters that they've built up throughout several movies, and they come in, and God, was it not a letdown. It was brilliant. Loki is my favourite villain in the whole of the MCU. I think he's absolutely amazing, and Hulk is unreal in this film. Just my favourite version of the Hulk in this film. He is great, and everything about it is good. You know, it's great satisfying moments, the finale, the whole ending 45 minutes of this film is epic. You know, they really could have done a better job with this. The soundtrack is beautiful. Everything about the pacing's great. I love how each character gets their moment in this film, and it's just great. It's one of my favourite superhero films of all time, and it is my favourite film, my favourite Avengers film for sure. I think it's just that good. It's brilliant, and it's arguably my favourite in the whole MCU. I like it that much. I'd have to think about that, but it's up there, that's for sure. It's a great film overall, guys, and I don't need to tell you that. Everyone knows this film's a masterpiece. It's great, it's revolutionary, and it really changed cinema as we know it. It just blew up after this. You know, they were already getting popular, the Marvel films, but Avengers really set the ball rolling, just blowing it into this huge, successful film franchise. They did a great job with it. I really enjoy it. Avengers gets 2 thumbs up from me. Number 1 is James Cameron's film Titanic. People forget how good this film is, seriously. I rewatched this again and I just love it. I really love this film. Leonardo DiCaprio, I adore him. I think he's just brilliant. And him and Kate Winslet, their chemistry is so beautiful in this film, so amazing. Love the storyline. And I just really like it. I really enjoy this film. It is relentless, man. The whole last hour and a half of this is non-stop. On the edge of your seat, intense. You fear for these characters because they've been built up so well for the first hour and a half. 3-hour runtime, you would not think it. Flies by. Seriously, flies. I've never watched a 3-hour film fly by so quickly in my life. Seriously. It's done so well. I just really enjoy this film. Caledon Hockley was a huge prick, and he was a great antagonist in this film. Very posh, over the top, thinks money can buy him everything, and can't buy your love, unfortunately. That's why Kate Winslet goes for our guy, Jack. But what can you say? Everything I love about this film is simply because it is a blockbuster done right. For me, I think it's got everything going for it. James Cameron smashes it so far out of the park with this one. The chemistry's great, the characters are great, the action's intense, the whole disaster of the Titanic was just relentless, man. But there is one problem, one huge problem I have with this film, and it's when she throws the necklace into the sea. Why the fuck does she do that? They said it in the movie. It's worth about the same as the Hope Diamond, which is worth about 400 million. So she had 400 million in her hand. All right, and she just threw it over. I understand why, because money doesn't buy you happiness and all this, you know. And she had everything. She had money and everything, but she chose to be with Jack Dawson, who is more, well, he's not rich basically. But she threw it into the sea. Oh my God, like threw it into the sea. Why? I understand why, but it's frustrating to see, even though it's not real. It pisses me off every time I see her do that. But apart from that, this film for me is a masterpiece. It's a blockbuster that you simply have to see. It's got everything I enjoy about film in this. Acting is superb, direction, score, the soundtrack, that song, I do not even need to tell you it, you should know it. It is brilliant. Guys, it's a masterpiece for me. I genuinely believe that, and yeah, if you haven't seen Titanic, I'm sure you all have, but if you haven't, it should be watched, seriously. And guys, that is all 10 of the highest grossing films ever ranked by me. Please let me know your rankings down below. I love to read your comments and reply to your comments. Love to see other people's opinions. I know a lot of people's opinions will be completely different to mine in this, because some of them are quite controversial. But guys, that's me, Movie Matthew, and like, subscribe, and you know, do whatever you want. I will see you next week on my next video.